The history of tea, from myth to the modern world. Tea's story is a fascinating blend of legend, history, spirituality, and global power. From ancient myths in Asia to modern tea bags and iced tea, this humble leaf has shaped cultures, economies, and even revolutions. Ancient legends from China and India. According to Chinese legend, tea was discovered in 2737 BCE by Emperor Shen Nong, a ruler known for his scientific curiosity. While boiling water in his garden, leaves from a wild tea tree drifted into the pot. Intrigued by the aroma and flavor, the emperor drank the infusion and later discovered its medicinal benefits. From that moment on, tea became part of Chinese herbal medicine and daily life. In India, tea's origin is tied to the legend of Bodhidharma, an Indian monk and founder of Zen Buddhism. Around 520 CE, Bodhidharma traveled to China and vowed to meditate for 9 years without sleep. Near the end of his meditation, he reportedly fell asleep. In despair, he cut off his eyelids and threw them to the ground. From that spot, a tea plant is said to have grown, symbolizing alertness, discipline, and spiritual awakening. Tea takes root in the Far East. While legends vary, historians believe the tea plant originated in regions spanning southwest China, Tibet, and northern India. Early communities likely chewed tea leaves for medicinal purposes long before tea was brewed as a drink. Tea culture truly flourished during China's Tang Dynasty 618 to 907, often called the Golden Age of Tea. Consumption became widespread, tea taxes were introduced, and tea was officially recognized as China's national beverage. During this era, a Buddhist scholar named Lu Yu wrote the Classic of Tea, the world's first known book dedicated entirely to tea. More than a guide, it connected tea drinking with Buddhist, Taoist, and Confucian philosophy, emphasizing balance, simplicity, and harmony with nature. The following Song Dynasty 960 to 1280 became the Romantic Age of tea, when poets, painters, and scholars celebrated tea as a symbol of refined culture. Tea deeply influenced art, religion, and social life across East Asia. Tea arrives in Japan. Tea entered Japan in the early 9th century, brought by the Buddhist monk Seicho after studying in China. Initially grown in monastery gardens, tea remained rare until the 13th century, when Zen monks helped spread its popularity. Japanese tea culture centered on matcha, a finely ground green tea powder prepared with bamboo whisks and served in handcrafted bowls. Zen monk Issei helped popularize matcha, laying the foundation for the Japanese tea ceremony Chanoyo ritual focused on mindfulness, respect, and tranquility. The birth of modern tea brewing. Modern tea preparation began during China's Ming Dynasty 1368 to 1644. Instead of tea bricks or powdered tea, leaves were dried, rolled, and gently heated to prevent oxidation. Tea was now brewed by simply steeping whole leaves in hot water, a method still used today. This innovation reached Japan in the 17th century. Later, in the 18th century, tea merchant Son Nagatani developed a new method of steaming and rolling green tea leaves, creating sencha, which remains Japan's most popular tea. Tea meets the Western world. Arab traders documented tea as early as the 9th century, and Marco Polo later mentioned it in his travel writings. However, tea did not gain real traction in Europe until the 17th century. The first major tea shipments arrived in Europe in 1610, carried by the Dutch East India Company. Tea spread quickly to cities like Amsterdam, Paris, and London, but its high price made it a luxury reserved for royalty and the elite. Britain's tea obsession begins. In England, tea was slow to catch on. Coffee dominated social life until tea gained popularity among women. In 1657, merchant Thomas Garraway opened England's first tea shop. Tea's status skyrocketed when King Charles II married Catherine of Braganza, a Portuguese princess and devoted tea drinker. Her influence helped establish tea as a royal tradition and eventually a national obsession. The British East India Company and the tea monopoly. By the early 1700s, the British East India Company controlled the tea trade with China and expanded its power across India. The company was not just a business, it acted as an imperial authority with military and political control. Over time, corruption, smuggling, and rising tensions weakened the monopoly. Britain's dependence on Chinese tea became a serious concern. Tea moves to India, Assam and Darjeeling. To break China's dominance, the British secretly sent botanist Robert Fortune to China to steal tea-growing knowledge. His mission helped launch tea cultivation in India. In Assam, native tea plants were discovered in 1823, and successful plantations soon followed. In Darjeeling, tea estates flourished by the mid-1800s, marking the rise of India as a global tea powerhouse, the Boston Tea Party and a turning point. In America, tea became popular in the 17th century, especially among wealthy colonists. But British taxation policies sparked outrage. The Tea Act allowed the East India Company to sell tea directly to colonies without representation. This tension exploded in 1773 with the Boston Tea Party, when colonists dumped tea into Boston Harbor. The event became a catalyst for the American Revolution. By 1874, public pressure and exposure of corruption led to the collapse of the British East India Company. American innovation, iced tea and tea bags. In the 1850s, American clipper ships began racing to transport tea from China faster than ever before. In 1904, iced tea was accidentally invented at the St. Louis World's Fair when hot tea was poured over ice during a heat wave. Today, iced tea represents nearly 80% of U.S. tea consumption. Tea bags followed soon after. While early versions existed, New York merchant Thomas Sullivan popularized the modern tea bag, forever changing how the world drinks tea. Tea today. Today, tea is the second most consumed beverage on earth, after water. From ancient rituals to modern lifestyles, tea continues to connect cultures, inspire traditions, and tell the story of humanity one cup at a time.